Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I coach people to play their game big. And way too often I see resumes of people who played small very early in their career and are really doomed to low expectations and low outcomes. Let me give you a sense of what I'm talking about. I've been getting a series of resumes for years that in no way, shape, or form fit a requirement. Let me give you an example. Person, bachelor's in healthcare administration, MBA from the University of Phoenix, and doctoral in business administration. Good academic background. And then I start to see what they've done professionally. I'm not going to identify gender, but I'll say that there are no dates on the education, starts off at the post office, becomes a healthcare assistant at a hospital, gets promoted to a healthcare assistant in another hospital, joins the VA as a healthcare assistant, and eventually progresses to a role doing error resolutions tax work for the Treasury Department, and has applied for a job as vice president of data security for an organization. There's nothing in the background that fits, but they took a shot and wasted my time and everyone else's that might ever see a resume that they submit. Let me give you another example. This person applied for a job doing Java development work. And the first thing I see under their name is they work in landscaping and senior BI developer. Okay? And the big block of text talks about all their BI work that they've done. And then I scroll down and they're a store associate at Macy's, and they worked as a merchandiser assistant for a retail services firm, and before that a deli clerk, and before that a financial planner, and before that they washed cars in an Avis. So I get the idea that maybe this person learned some stuff while in school and is trying to beef it up. But even when I look at their education, what it tells me is they have a bachelor's in CISSP, which is nonsense, and a bachelor's in CEH, but that has nothing to do with business intelligence like they have underneath their name. And there's nothing in their resume, zero, nada, that indicates that they can do the kind of work that they've applied for. So I just want to talk with you candidly about the mistake that people make. Maybe they're pushed into it by parents who just say, you got to get a job. You got to get a job. Find a job, any job. Just get a job. Once you have a job, you can do. It's not true. You have to launch right for what you say you want to be doing professionally, for what you've been trained to do professionally. Because otherwise, like that first person I described with the doctorate, you kind of get tracked in a particular way because organizations hire square pegs for square holes. They hire people to sit at one desk, and when that person leaves, they want another one just like them to sit at that desk. So you have to think a smart way. Like, for example, if you went to a car dealer and you said, I want to buy a minivan, and they brought out a sports car for you, you go, this doesn't make sense. Well, these resumes don't make sense. There are people who took a path of least resistance, took something like, I got a job as a deli clerk. Great. And what makes you qualified to do any of the jobs that you're applying for as a deli clerk? And they bounced from one place to another, 3 months here, 2 months there. They hate their jobs that they made a mistake by putting this on their resume. Get it off. Focus in on what you want. And if you're deficient in the skills and knowledge necessary to be effective as a junior person doing that kind of work, fix it. Fix it, because otherwise you're going to wind up tracked in a way that you're not going to be happy with. You're going to wind up in a career, and these aren't exactly careers, that you're just another clerk. They've got glorious names, but you're basically a clerk. Maybe a clerk in a store, maybe a clerk working for the government, but you're never going to be asked to think And that's really what most of us want to do. We want to use our minds because when we use them, we wind up doing things and making choices and having avenues for our career that we get excited about. Now, we may change our minds later on in our lives, and there are ways to compensate later, but I don't want you getting tracked in roles where you're going to be stuck. Getting stuck is being doomed to failure. You have to wind up starting your own business at that point to get out of it. And even there, you can wind up failing, quite obviously. So do yourself, do everyone that you're sending a resume to a favor. Fix the deficiencies in your skills on your own, and then go apply. And there's a way to do that later on. But for now, I got to tell you, stop wasting your time and everyone else's time and blaming the economy for your problems, because it's your choices that put you in that position. I'm Jeff Altman. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. And if we aren't connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. I'll accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if your profile looks like a spammer or scammers. Lastly, if you have questions about job hunting, you are not alone. A lot of people do, but they ask the wrong people for advice. Instead, there's a tab on my site that says, have your job search questions answered. I'd be happy to answer them. I'm Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.